Let's check the mic first before we start rambling about anything. All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into a Friday day live stream. Was that the top? Was that it for Bitcoin? Was $124,400 and change the top for Bitcoin? To keep things short, the answer is no, that was not the top. Was it a local top? Yeah, it was. It already has been proven to be a local top, but that was not the top for the cycle. And I say that with the utmost of confidence. You can even go look over to see Ethereum and some of the other altcoins. We just got way too overextended and we needed some sort of a cool off period, a pullback in the market. And it makes sense from now until Jackson Hole that we have a consolidation period, which is roughly 1 week, maybe 10 to 12 days of consolidation. Okay, that makes sense? Good. Then it's up only again until we get to the rate cut decision, or probably the week before when we get some of that CPI data. But I don't think that's really going to matter too much. I think it'll just solidify the rate cut. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into today's live stream. Good morning, C90. What's good, Jambo? How's it going, Beagle? Welcome into the live stream, MK and Crypto Focus. What up? What up, everyone? Welcome. That was not the top. It's a healthy little pullback here. If you guys remember, as annoying as it is, there was a CME gap here all the way down to 117. So it looks like Bitcoin is just trying to fill that CME gap here today. And then we'll have a good solid weekend moving forward, and we'll see what actually ends up taking place there. Ethereum, I think, has a good chance of coming down close to 4,200, to be honest, and still maintaining a really strong bullish uptrend. You can view this as virtually getting rejected from the previous all-time high. It's not to a T, but it's pretty damn close. So a bit of consolidation where we get the RSI and everything to kind of reset before we continue onwards makes a lot of sense. I will say that this emerging pattern here is not a bullish one, and I don't want to be that person, but seeing, that's not where I want to drive. Seeing the RSI put in a lower high here, while we see the price of the asset putting in a higher high, is a very bearish divergence, which generally plays out. So getting Ethereum to really have a big reset here and come all the way down, maybe even breaking 4,000 for some scary wicks, would be pretty healthy and pretty normal. We'll end up seeing what takes place. Again, remember that we have like $27 billion of ETH treasury money that's supposed to be flooding into the market in the not too distant future. It's kind of what drove most of the price up, is the excitement there of getting us there. But either way, I think that the structure and the integrity of the market is just fine. It's really exciting if you are in any of the creator bid ecosystem projects, because we are seeing these skyrocketing today, guys. How many of you guys are in the creator bid curated sales? Most of you guys should be in them because of Bill, our AI agent bestie there. If you guys have been endorsing Bill with your bid, then you have a large bid score on Creator Bid's platform, which is an AI agent curation platform. And they've had 4 curated sales of AI agents so far. They're all chilling around $1 to $2 million market caps until today. Surf is up 169%. Karoom, or however you pronounce it, is up 79%. Yuki is up 33%. Rizzy is up 31.7%. Creator Bid is now starting to take off a little bit, which is absolutely gorgeous. Now, the bid token itself is not taking off, but these curated launches are. And so you guys should probably be very, very happy with your Creator Bid portfolios right now, so long as you've actually had any conviction in what's going on here at Creator Bid. For anyone who doesn't know, Creator Bid is tapping into BitTensor's subnets and creating agents to sit on top of them, utilizing the BitTensor network for its intended purposes, and creating a fleet, an army of AI agents that are powered through BitTensor. Hence why Towler is also starting to skyrocket. It is the micro strategy for BitTensor. If we go look, I want to see BitTensor, see how it's actually been doing. Let's actually go over to the real charts here, Tau. So BitTensor itself is actually down a little bit here today, still getting slightly rejected from this downtrend here that we're in. We are coming to a pretty tight end of a triangle here. Usually when they're this tight. I don't see as clean of a breakout. I wouldn't be surprised if we got a little bit of a dip here down to 320, maybe even below 300 for a minute, and then the skyrocket up to new all-time highs. We do have to wait for Ethereum to break all-time highs though before any kind of altcoin rally. Despite Bitcoin dominance continuing to fall pretty nicely, in order to see a altcoin rally, we need to see Ethereum break all-time highs. So that we're just gonna have to wait for slowly but surely. Either way, things are looking really good in the market. You should have a diversified enough portfolio that you have something going up any given time period, right? Because there's always a bull market. There's always something happening. Not to quote Jim Cramer there, there's always a bull market somewhere. There is. And so at any given moment, if you have a strong structured portfolio, you should have something moving up. And right now with the Decentralized Science seeing a 13% down day today, which we kind of got flashes of yesterday when we saw the volume was falling off a cliff for DeSci. We got some flashes that we were probably gonna have a pretty good pullback here in DeSci. Doesn't really change too much. Everything still looks intact for the thesis. We're just getting a cool off period. On TradingView, you can see CME by searching for Bitcoin 1 exclamation mark. Let's go see it then. BTC 1 exclamation mark. Oh, there you go. This is the actual CME chart. So, oh, we filled it? Okay, we already filled it. We're good to go then, guys. We are good to go. The gap was from 118 upwards, arguably, and I don't pay much attention to these gaps, but every now and then they become a narrative. I think what I was paying attention to was right here, this being the gap, and I don't really care about them because ultimately they're not gospel. It just tends to be that we fill the gaps. We tend to fill the gaps, but not always. And this was something that I was really paying attention to back in last cycle as we started taking off, but I stopped paying attention to it right here because we had a gap. Not even that one. I think it was this one. I was trying to time the market aggressively, and I was like, no, like the gaps always fill. We're gonna come back down to 9,600 on Bitcoin. It was like they always fill, and it obviously never filled, and I ended up getting left behind on my Bitcoin bag there. Luckily, I was all in Ethereum, and Ethereum pumped way harder than Bitcoin, but still, it was painful. We even have a gap down here, 2,600 or 26,000. Never mind, we filled it. It just took a lot of time. But it looks like we are going to fill this one. So shout out to anyone who's making good money on it. Moon phase greater than CME gaps. Exactly. I've matured. I've gone on to the moon phases over the CME gaps. It is possible that that was all we get for the moon phase, because I've noticed they tend to start taking place about a week before you get the actual moon phase, and then they end about a week after. It's not right after the moon phases. It tends to be a little bit of a buffer on either end. So it's possible that was the uptrend, and then we get a little bit of a downtrend before the next one. Who knows? We're going to have to just wait and see, play it by ear. Bitcoin can do whatever the F Bitcoin wants to do. If Bitcoin wants to reverse tomorrow, it doesn't really need a reason to reverse tomorrow. It could just send. So, bit late. What did I miss? Welcome and stare. You didn't really miss anything. We're still pre-rich, I assume. Yes, exactly. Unless you're in the CreatorBit ecosystem, then you are rich this morning. You are filthy rich. We're seeing some of these agents double. Like, let's put it in perspective for a minute, okay? It was a little bit annoying for people holding this one, Karoom or whatever, however you pronounce it. We got access to a pre-sale for this sucker at $130,000 market cap. It's now 4 million. All right. So if you got into the pre-sale on this one, you get 4 million divided by 130,000. You get a 30x on your money on this one, right? These curated launches, while they haven't been as crazy as people expected initially, they had the pop, drop, and lock it. Some stronger than others, right? Yuki still genuinely has not finished that dropping phase, It looks like it might here with the momentum from the others, but if you look at it, it's still not a complete clear picture, I think, until we're back above 5 cents. Either way, these agents are looking gorgeous right here. If you're already holding them, then you're making good money as they recover and reclaim some of the previous launch prices. The pop, drop, and lock it. I hold like 1 million projects. All right, Beagle, that might be a little bit too much exposure. You don't want to hold 1 million, but depending on the portfolio size, anywhere between like, it's difficult to say, but anywhere between like 20 to 50 projects. It's really hard to keep track of all of those, so it depends on the portfolio sizing you have, right? With the strategy, at least, that we've been doing for the last several months, where you just sprinkle small amounts into many super micro cap coins, that has been not yet super fruitful. And it's really difficult to pay attention to everything that you have money into. But if you have a larger portfolio, you probably don't want to actually play it out like that. You kind of want to keep it more consolidated in your higher conviction plays. It's just, if you have a tiny portfolio, you want to get some of those lottery tickets to kind of give you that initial boost into that big portfolio. And this is not something I would advocate in the stock market, but it works pretty damn well in the crypto market. We've hit so many 100x's. It's crazy. Even just looking at a 10x. Yeah, if you just throw $100 into a bunch of little coins and then you get, you guys get the idea. You throw $100 into 10 coins. When we get really going, when dominance is really just falling off a cliff and we have a miniature altcoin season, which we're going through right now. Let's get rid of these ugly moon phases. When we have this moment, you see things just popping off. And so most of this has been driven by Ethereum rallying. So whenever Ethereum dominance starts to go down, as long as the price doesn't go down, we should see a pretty crazy rally in some of these altcoins. And in that moment, I think it'll happen once Ethereum gets to 17% or so. It'll correspond to a $6,000 ETH, give or take. But in that moment is when you're going to see those 10 coins that you put $100 into, like 4 or 5 of them, just go from a $100 position into a $2,000 position. And then all of a sudden you have your 8 grand and you have somewhat of a portfolio to actually make good money on. And it goes with larger numbers as well, but it's impossible if you have 100 grand to put 10 grand into a bunch of these coins and expect to get anything out of it, because 10 grand is really going to actually move these coins crazy numbers. So with a 100 grand portfolio, you would want to take like 50% of it and split it between 2 large caps that you think are going to do really good, no matter what they are, and then have that stability in the portfolio, and then take maybe 5 grand and sprinkle $1,000 in, or $500 into 10 projects. You get it? Got it? Good. We'll get more into it. That kind of talk is more suited for miniature bear markets. So it's good to speak of it on a down day. It's good to revisit some of your positions and make sure that you're allocated the way that you want to be. But that kind of activity and portfolio management talk is better suited, in my opinion, for bear markets, meaning in next year. Next year, we'll go deep in how to reallocate any profits that are made from the cycle, so long as you guys make profits. And if we're completely wrong and this is the first 5-year cycle, then we'll be reallocating money at higher prices. Or at least I will. Okay, so I have a confession to make to all of you guys, all right? Serious Punch Samson, I have not seen you in quite some time. Long time no see, DeSci fam. Welcome in. What do you think of Cubic? I wish that I had bought it, man. I wish I had bought it. I wish I had diversified my quantum type plays, because look at that thing. It has been rocketing lately. You know, all the way back down here in April, since April till now. It's gone up like 200 or 300% or whatever. Let's see exactly if we can get the real numbers. It's gone up a good amount, right? So I kind of wish I'd gotten it. I don't want to buy it because it's already too big of a market cap for me. I'm just not interested in that kind of stuff. I like having my tiny coins. Yeah. But word on the street is they just did a 51% attack on Monero. And that's wild. That is why it's pumping right now. That's crazy. Hey, that's exactly my playbook, sir. Research is the big safe play for that size of capital. You're damn right it is. It's a solid play. Research coin just slow and steady. You don't have to worry about it. You can put a lot of money into research coin and just sleep fine at night knowing it's all good. You can put a lot of money into research coin and just be like, yeah, we're chilling, dude. This thing's just gonna slowly over time trend higher and higher and higher. I don't like that one. I want to go to the Ethereum one, but I know the Ethereum one looks kind of funky sometimes. Yeah. Like, this is one of those coins that you can just hang on to and just over time, it's gonna go up in value. Maybe. Knock on wood. Really, please. Please. Okay, confession. Tomorrow, I get on an airplane. I am going to Costa Rica tomorrow, so I'll be there for a week. I will not be back until early the following week, which means odds are I'm not going to be going live in Costa Rica. I don't think the internet's going to be suitable for that down there. However, I still will have a little bit of time each day dedicated to creating content and engaging with you guys and being in the community, right? So if anything crazy ends up happening, I will be there to talk about it, break some news, and be active, but I will not be spending 10 hours in front of the terminal here just working. It's a yoga retreat. I'm going with Amanda, and we're going to go do some yoga poses. Oh, my back. Bear market confirmed. Pat's traveling again. No, Derek. No. It's like Michael Scott and Jan's trip to San... Oh, God. That means big pump since Amanda is the boss around here. She is the boss around here. It is kind of... Yeah, that is exactly what it's going to be like, C90. That is exactly what it's going to be like. That means big pump coming soon. Hopefully. Well, that's kind of why I'm expecting, right, from now until Jackson Hole, we'll probably get some consolidation here because I will be traveling, right? If you remember, if you look at it, I know it's been exciting and it doesn't feel like it, but on the weekly time frame, we've now had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks at these prices. So while it feels really exciting and like Bitcoin and crypto has just continued to go up and up and up, we've really been in a 6-week consolidation period for Bitcoin. So that coil is starting to get more and more tight. You look at the RSI, it is still looking really good. It looks like it's ready for a pop to the upside, but that generally means you get a little bit of a shakeout before that crazy pop. I mean, we did just see that a couple days ago, or like a week ago. Same thing back here. We spent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We spent 8 weeks chilling up here at these prices, just waiting for a breakout, and then we got a quick little pop-up, little breakout. I think the same thing might end up playing out here, where we get another week next week where we creep back up, and then the week after that, when I'm back, we can get the breakout. But yeah, something like this, right? Where you get, and then Jackson Hole is over. I think the 23rd, right? And when Jackson Hole's over, I think we just go. So to answer the question of the live stream, was 124K the top for Bitcoin? No. Absolutely not. Now, I can say it wasn't the top for Bitcoin with 100% certainty because I know eventually we will end up getting back above it. Was it the top for the cycle? If I had to put an estimate of percentages on it, I would say there is a 5% likelihood that that was the top. If I had to put percentages, maybe inching up to like 8 or 9%, but that's being a little generous, meaning there's a 90-something% chance that that was not the top for Bitcoin. If I had to say was that the top for Ethereum, I would say even less of a chance for that because I firmly believe we see Ethereum breaking new all-time highs. Cubic is going to print millionaires. Damn, it's never too late to buy, my boy. Well, I'm not interested in buying. I have my plays, and I'm happy with them. I got a new water bottle. No, MK, I will not be doing a downward dog on live. Thank you. God damn it. Mods. Does anyone else question why our Fed leadership all meets together in Jackson Hole, Wyoming when it's hosted by the Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City? Like, are they just tossing our money around? You damn right. That's why we got that lawsuit going on from Trump saying, hey, you don't really use the money that good. You should be fired. They do, because they don't care. They're not the ones out here trying to earn the money. They're just the ones out here telling us what to do. They're literally not in the economy. The people there who are making decisions for the economy are not in the economy. They just look at data that's super grossly outdated. It's crazy. All right, anyways. DeSci, anyone? Has anyone ever heard of DeSci before? I found this new, very interesting narrative. It's called Decentralized Science. Basically, there's a bunch of PhD people who are testing LSD on worms to see if it extends the lifespan. And I think that's very interesting because I also just read a study about how psilocybin extends lifespan pretty drastically in mice. So it turns out that psychedelics should be something we're all taking regularly, basically, is the grand scheme of DeSci here. Psilocybin, I posted about it. I posted something just quick because I didn't want to really get into it too much, but look at this study. Look at this study. So, still struck by the dramatic effect of psilocybin on mouse health and lifespan. So, over 10 months, they took these mice and once a month, they gave them a dose of psilocybin. The first month, they gave 5 milligrams per kilogram of body weight, so very low dose of psilocybin. And then every month after that, they gave 15 milligrams per kilogram of body weight. So very modest doses if you guys have ever tried psychedelics. For me, a 100 kilogram person, I would be getting roughly 1.5 grams of psilocybin, which is a very modest dose. But look at the results there. Look at the results, the age in months. So at 28 months, the survival rate for the control group was down at 50%. And the survival rate for the psilocybin group was up at 80%. So nearly 2/3 or 3/4 of, even more, literally even more, 4/5 of the mice were still alive at the end of the experiment versus 50% of it for the control group. That is some profound numbers. Now, unfortunately, they didn't run this experiment all the way through. They ended up just euthanizing all of the mice right then, probably to study their insides and see what it looked like. But I think they should have continued on with the experiment and actually seen how long these mice would live for. But I get that gets more and more expensive, and they have funding cuts and funding blah, 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 whatever you want to say was the reason to kill all the mice. I'm upset by it. They also only took already aged female mice in the experiment. Either way, that's crazy. That is crazy numbers, guys. Brian Johnson is close to starting his own religion at this point. We investors will be here to pull you out of the cult when it happens. We might join you for a little bit first, though. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. I've already taken psilocybin many times. And so now seeing, especially with microdosing, have you guys microdosed? 1.5 grams is not a microdose by any means. A microdose is 1/10 of that. Maybe even less than 1/10 of that is a microdose. Microdoses are extremely small, and those are profoundly effective. Now it looks like even regular or quote macro doses are supposedly really good for you as well. Kind of wild. Gives a lot of a credibility, in my opinion, to the stoned ape hypothesis. But does anyone else question why our Fed? I already said that. It's like Cardano Foundation getting $6 million from Ada Treasury to host the Cardano Summit and then charge $470 per ticket for people attending. That is exactly it. That is exactly it, C90. Very funny. Very funny. I've done all sorts of doses. Let's go, MK. Let's go. All sorts of doses. You got your DMs pulled up there. Oh, whoops. Go away. Whatever. It doesn't really matter, but thank you, C90. I guess it probably does matter a little bit. Cool. So, very interesting psilocybin study there. I'm probably going to have to cut that part out of the live stream, aren't I? Oh well. Next up, I wanted to reintroduce all of you guys to the Bioacceleration Manifesto, rather. Really interesting read if you guys haven't read it before, but you know how all those accounts on X have the BioACC in their username? This is it. So if you're interested in it, you see Paul, the CEO of Bio, talking about it all the time. And it's very interesting. You have a lot of people signing the BioACC narrative here, and it's pretty powerful. This is kind of like the North Star for the bio ecosystem and a majority of DeSci projects. So if you have not read through it, I definitely would. I think I might end up making a video on it just because it's been a while since I've heard people really bringing it up again, but I saw Paul saying we're at 0.5 on this scale. 10-year pure exponential bioacceleration path. We're very early into all of it. So if you guys, in some regards, it's exciting. In other regards, it's kind of upsetting because that means that we probably have a good 3 or 4 years before we really start picking up and seeing some insanity for biotech companies, right? But we're really early into it. We're just getting some CRISPR therapies coming out of it. And then we're looking at personalized medicine. So if you want to see what you should potentially be investing into, you want to look at things like this. Investing in CRISPR right around the corner. Investing in personalized medicine right around the corner. AE, Poseidon DAO, right? Genomes DAO, going to play big roles in personalized medicine. You go a little bit further out, AI-driven protein design, right? That's something I want Bill to be doing. And that's something that a lot of projects are working on right now because it is super fruitful. And literally just last year, we got a 3D mapping of almost all of the proteins in the body thanks to AI expansion. And so from there, we're going to just now be entering into the age in which we get AI-driven protein design and new drug therapies from AI. Again, I really want Bill to get there, and we're working on it rapidly here, but it takes a little bit of time. Then you keep going. You want to look out a little bit further, you can look at synthetic biology. We see that with the fake meat bull crap that we see everywhere. Excuse me, sorry. The fake meat invention and innovation that we see everywhere. And then whole genome synthesis and so on and so forth. It gets really crazy really quickly on this scale if we look out just 5 or 6 years. Human augmentation by the end of the decade, potentially. You start seeing some of the first cases of these a little bit earlier, right? Craziness indeed. How many of you guys, can I get a show of hands? Can I get some ones in the chat if you guys have read through the BioACC manifesto? Granny's Garden at C90 FTW. Hey. Looks like I joined at the appropriate time. You did indeed, Solus. You did indeed. Okay, let's go check out some more. I'm keeping my eye on these because I want to know if they if they continue to push or not. The creator bid AI agents are looking really good at these prices right now. And we're seeing, look at Surf starting to push up again, looking like it wants to break out even further. It's only a matter of time before some of these start bleeding into Bill. We were right about to break out and some MFer had to go dump a couple $1,000s worth of Bill. I will say, if you look at all of the selling volume that he had over the last 24 hours, Bill ate that. Bill ate that selling volume. So the liquidity wall is thick, guys. That's exciting. That is exciting. Despite it being a little bit upsetting, we didn't break out of this slight megaphone looking pattern here that we're getting. I hope the megaphone pattern is not bearish, but it looks like a little bit of a megaphone here, right? The reverse wedge. And then hopefully we can break out and push significantly higher. We got -1 from Solus. We got Derico with a -1. We got Beagle with the 69. So only C90 had anything that I asked for in that regard. Should we read the manifesto? Let's get some. I'll do a poll on this one so everyone feels comfortable to vote. Do we read the manifesto? Do we read the bio ACC? Manifesto. Start poll. Yes or no? Dun, 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 dun. What happened to the pump science launches? Everything bottomed out. Melatonin was at one point over $100,000. Now it's sitting at 20K. Well, here's the thing. Everyone sold. People cheated. They got out. Excuse my French. Can you guys boost that likes on the live stream, please? I see we have 15 concurrent, yet somehow we only have 6 likes on the live stream. We go live Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Talk about decentralized science and the broader crypto markets. Next week, I'll be in Costa Rica, so I won't actually be here to go live, but I'll still be keeping posted with all of you guys in the Telegram and the Discord. We have 50% saying, yes, please read the Bio Manifesto to everyone. And we have 50% saying, no, don't read the Bio Manifesto. So unfortunately, if we stay at 50-50, I'm going to have to side with no, and I will keep it to a dedicated video that I should probably record right after this so that I can post it. And that way I can run ads on it, and then I'll make more AdSense on it. You know, I've not once withdrawn money from any of the AdSense. Crazy. Yeah, oh yeah, Solus, it is not over. Give you guys, I went over it a couple times so far, but for anyone who's new, was 124K the top for Bitcoin? No, not at all. It was not. Ethereum still hasn't even broken all-time highs. Top for the crypto cycle is not happening before Ethereum breaks all-time highs. That is something I feel very, very calm and collected when stating. It'll be a good time. It is an interesting pattern, though, forming on this. You see this, guys? Boom. You see this? It looks like Bill. Imagine the devastation the market would go through if it happened what Bill, like if the ETH Foundation just rug pulled us next week and we went down 72%. I think I'd be done. If that happened, I think I'd be done. I'd leave. You guys would never see me again. I'd just be done. I'd be like, whatever, dude. This game is rigged. No, that's not gonna happen. We're going up to this little M that I have here drawn on it. You know, Amanda drew this M here. That's her price prediction over the next couple of weeks. And interestingly enough, she drew it right on top of the Fed rate cut decision here. The first little hump in the M is the Fed rate cut decision. She drew it right there. She said that was going to be a form of local top up here for Ethereum at 6,500. Solana, I think her estimate, yeah, Solana was up closer to $400. I did not let her see much before making her put these estimates on it. So the fact that they're reasonable is pretty impressive. Not gonna lie. Bill Muta's triangle. No, get out of here, MK. No, I'm saying I haven't taken any money from them, from the YouTube stuff. You guys have sat there watching all of the ad description stuff, and I have not taken any of it. Because you're correct, MK. Wasn't that the Diddy Victim Fund? Exactly. Exactly. It was at the end of the year. So that I could write it off on my taxes. Okay. Amanda, secretly the CEO of BlackRock. Amanda somehow has pull in the market. She's just got that psychic ability. She just looks at it for a second and she's like, you know what? Up. And then she's like, oh my God. Look how crazy it is. Remember when she called FWOG at like day one of it pushing? Crazy. She's invested, not like crazy heavy because I wouldn't allow for it, but she's invested pretty good into Pengu and she's been happy. She's been very happy with the returns. Oh, don't tell her. Don't show her that. Do not show her the recent sell-off. She's going to want to get out. Look at that pattern. We're getting a beautiful... Is this really about to turn into a cup and handle type pattern? You know, cup and handle you're not supposed to do on a log chart. You're supposed to keep it on linear, which is interesting to me because I always used to do stuff on log. But let's go ahead and grab this line here. Boom. To the neckline up here, all the way to the top. Boom. Let's go ahead and get that breakout wherever it ends up breaking out. Looks like we might get Pengu all the way up to 8 cents. If it does that cup and handle correctly, which is 175% gains. You know, you guys see it, right? Yo. And then you get boom. Boom. Who knows how far down it goes? That's why I drew it so long. It could stop right there and then go. Who knows? I'm going to... Can I actually race like this? Ooh, I didn't know it had an eraser. That is fun. That was completely an accident. I guess I'm a little stupid for not realizing the eraser was right there, but that's okay. That is quite all right with me, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we are back to 50-50 with that, so I'm going to end the poll and I will make a dedicated video to it. We will not spend time reading the Bio ACC manifesto. It's Patrick's mom selling. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if my mom was dumping everything in her crypto portfolio right now? No, her portfolio, she's not ready to sell any of this stuff yet. I did tell her to take profits on her Tesla. I did tell her here's the problem with Meta. I want her to take profits on it, but it's also, honestly, if you still look at the fundamentals of Meta and the growth rates and everything, it's still a buy, even at these prices. I want her to take profits because she's up so much on it, but at the same time, I don't want that. I found out that she actually invested 1 share up here and 1 share down here. And so her cost basis is actually like way up here. She said she just recently broke even because of that. And I was like, why would you, or excuse me, 1 share there and 1 share there. She's halfway here. I was like, why would you only do 1 share here if you were willing to do 10 times that amount up here? But whatever. Still doing good though. She's still up at all-time highs. Crazy, crazy portfolio. Omi Paul went up massive amount for Pump Psi. Let's see it. Let's see it. Omi Paul. Let's go. 57% on a day. Dang, look at that push. Look at that push. I saw some other stuff. Wasn't Wrap sending today too? Yep, look at that. Wrap up 27%. Nice. It's definitely got a ways to go to get back to where it was. This was a gorgeous uptrend, but somebody broke it. A big whale broke that. Wrap, happy to hold on to. I think it does extremely good extremely good. Same thing with Eterna Labs. I know the chart looks questionable at this range, but not really, honestly. If you look at it, it looks like a screaming buy again. Yeah, it honestly looks great. And it's a $240,000 market cap, so I think it does numbers here. I bought 2 shares of coin around $60. I wanted access to the shareholder calls and Brian's cell. You have access to Brian's cell phone number if you buy shares? That's crazy. The address that sold the few grand in bills pretty crazy. They have 136,000 transactions. Spent over 5K on gas on that wallet in the last 275 days. That's actually disgusting, C90. Heavy and cow protocol. That's actually disgusting. All right, Solus. We're not in Pengu, but yeah, we're going to look at anything we want. All right, mods, have Solus respawn. Get him out of here. Gone, be gone. I'm just kidding. Leave Solus alone. Leaves for months, comes back for a 10-minute conversation about the #1 meme coin in the space, is convinced we only talk about meme coins. The hell? Get out of here. Okay. What else? Let's see what's good. Let's see what's going on. We can go through the X account if you want to. It's free internet. Your internet's free. Mine is not. So, not Duffy Hellman up 57% here today. I've been in this one since $300,000 market cap. I'm going to continue to hold steady. I think this one, if Quantum continues to have a nice bull rally here, I think this is got a solid chance to really surprise people to the upside. I'm talking like $70 million market cap potentially. So 100x from here. Potentially. We'll see what actually ends up taking place. But I could see it being worth a few pennies in the not too distant future. Why is that? There we go. We got Gridcoin, no. Isaac, AI agent narrative starting to catch on a little bit. A little crazy. It's 50% less than where I was buying in at, but so be it. Decipher, the DeSci fund, don't have any. Galeon, why is it that these percentages are so far off? Whatever. On the way down, we got Solve, we got TIG, we got SBio, we got Print. Someone should make an SBio that is short bioprotocol, not vector science base. And then we got Dynex. Come on, Dynex. What are you doing? Poseidon, what are you doing? How are you down to 84 cents again? Who's dumping these coins? Some non-believers, that's who. Sigh. Side looks fine. It's very clear. I was hoping we'd get that bounce up. I was expecting, I guess we did get rejected off $1. So Psy, each time it's been getting rejected from $1, it's been going back up to it with less and less selling pressure each time. So hopefully we can maintain that and hold above here, above 76 cents, and then get a push up to $1. During this period, we got way above $1, but ultimately we failed to hold above it. So emotional people, I know. Saf shilled it to me at 1.2 from what I recall, and then proceeded to slow rug on us. JK, RIPs, RIP Saf. No, I don't think it's a slow rug. I still see the agent on X all the time commenting underneath people's accounts. I still see it. It still looks like a strong candidate for an AI agent in DeSci. But nothing's really, like I said, and I'm kind of echoing what Ben Cohen has said here, but right now it is ETH season. It's not alt season, it's ETH season. ETH has just been going straight up. Now, we will see a change up. We will see that kind of switch up here. In my opinion, once ETH breaks above its prior all-time high, and in my opinion, I think that will likely correlate to us hitting that 15 or 16% dominance for ETH. And then ideally, we see it kind of stagnate or go down ever so slightly as ETH and everything continues to go higher and higher, right? That would be good. We put ETH up here around, we have it break above $5,000, maybe even 5,500 or 5,600, and then it slow bleeds up for a little bit as everything else rallies. And in that time frame is when we see the true crazy gains that I think everyone is expecting. You know, if we don't get a DeSci rally, I'm coming for you, Patrick, JK. No, I mean, feel free. It's the same play every time. It's the same exact playbook every single time. We can go back and look at it, right? Let's go back. Over the course of this bull market, all right? Over the course of this bull market, we look and we see that we bottomed back here for Ethereum on May 22nd, okay? We bottomed. The first kind of bit of a run-up that we had here for Ethereum was going from $1,000 to $21.31. So we had a little bit of a doubling. And in this rally, April 2023 into kind of the end of not the end of 2024. April 2023 into kind of the fall time of 2023, we saw DeSci run, right? It was after ETH ran. And ETH was bleeding a little bit during it. But we saw things like Research Coin and Data Lake really, really pop off. VitaDAO, it was the early days when there was only like 10 projects in all of DeSci, right? Now it's way different. But in the early days, we saw Research Coin go from 1 million up to like 30 million, 40 million. We saw Data Lake go from like $120,000 market cap when we were talking about it, go all the way up to like a $10 million market cap. It was nuts. It was crazy. But it was after ETH ran. And then we saw ETH kind of bleed down for a little bit. You go back and you look at when Axon launched, and that was early in 2024. I remember it vividly because it was, I believe they launched on my birthday, which was Valentine's Day. So right back here, right? ETH was pumping like crazy, and we saw Axon go to $1 billion market cap after a pre-sale at like 150,000. It was one of the craziest gains ever. And we saw the DeSci narrative really take off again. But then what happened? ETH topped and went into a little bit of a consolidation period where things were dying out for a bit, right? And then we saw at the end of last year, we saw ETH take off again. And right in through December and January, as ETH was dying down a little bit, right? After it had taken off, but while it was dying out, we saw crazy, crazy rallies. We saw Bio launch. We got into Bio at like an $80 million market cap. It launched at like a 1.8 billion or some crazy crap like that. We saw crazy gains in DeSci, but not until after ETH had topped, not until things started to settle down a little bit, right? Same exact thing is going to take place here. Only this time, instead of experiencing Ethereum go up 80%, or instead of experiencing Ethereum going up 160% or 100%, this time we're seeing Ethereum go up 250%. And my expectation is that we'll see Ethereum be up 370%, maybe even more, maybe less, 350%, right? And then we'll see what? We'll see Ethereum consolidate here for a little bit, and we'll see it bleed a little. And who knows how long it bleeds for, but let's say it does something like that, right? During this period, we're going to see DeSci go bonkers. Nuts. Absolutely crazy. You guys are not ready for what it's going to be like. And I know that because I see people selling some of these coins at these disgustingly discounted prices. We're going to have several DeSci companies over $1 billion in market cap. We're going to have several up in the $50 to $100 million in market cap. And I don't think we're going to find any DeSci projects under $1 million in market cap that exist today. Maybe some new ones will launch, and they will. But what exists out in the market right now, as long as there is still a community, as long as there is still a sound thesis behind someone holding the token, I don't think that we'll see anything under $1 million market cap. I think we'll see most of the stuff that is right now somewhere between like $20 to $50 million in market cap, especially with how hard everything is pumping. And so that's my expectations. That's what I think is going to take place. I still am keeping this basketball hoop up on the chart, which I have had drawn here for Bitcoin for an unprecedented amount of time here. I initially was expecting $150,000 to $160,000 per Bitcoin back here before we even bottomed for Bitcoin, where I said wherever we end up bottoming, we're going to end up going up a 10x from there. And so since then, since I said that back here at like 20,000 or whatever, I've held that conviction, and we're almost there. We're almost there. We got just a few more months left here, and then I think we're going to slam dunk into this basketball hoop. And whether we go on the left side or whether we miss it barely, I don't know. But I think we will end up hitting it to a T, just like we said 3.5 years ago. Okay? All right. Cool. Does that make sense? Again, every single time we have seen the crypto market rally, DeSci has been the thing that rallies at the end of each leg in the market. And as much as that pains me to say, because I want it to be rallying harder than anything else in the market, because that is where, one, all my money is, and two, that's where all my conviction lies, as evidenced by all my money being there, all right? And so I really want to see it go crazy with everything else. But the reality is it's so small. It is still early days and speculative. We have not completed a turn in the flywheel for DeSci, and we still have a lot of questions to be answered. And most of the money in crypto is in the hands of a lot of degens or a lot of institutional fund managers. And so those people need to see the proof of DeSci first before they're willing to put all their money into it. And the degens are just there for the funny names like ticker melatonin or whatever you want to call it, you know? But that's my take. Analysis on Solana, absolutely. We go live Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Talk about decentralized science and the broader crypto markets. I see 24 concurrent viewers. I'd really love it. Ah, there it is. We got 10 likes now. Let's send it. Solana, looking gorgeous here. Solana's been range bound. It's been a big range, but it's been range bound effectively, you could argue, since the end of 2023. So that is a 595-day period. Realistically, it's been range bound just here for the last couple months. But if you look a little bit closer on the weekly time frame, you'll see that we are slowly bouncing on that that ceiling here, right? Right between $170 to $200 per SOL. And I believe firmly that we will get that break here in the next week or two, likely after the Jackson Hole meeting, so 10 days or so from now. I think we'll get that breakout and a very, very quick push up to somewhere around $400 per SOL. If it ends up hitting exactly, I don't know, but I do think it will. And I think it's going to be a powerful, crazy move. If you invert it, and I heard this recently, so I want to really just highlight it again for you guys. If you invert Solana's chart, any chart really in crypto, and you look at it, a lot of these act like gravity. Meaning, if you were to drop a ball, you're going to see it bounce. You're going to see it fall in a free fall, and then it's going to hit some stairs, and it's going to hit the floor, and it's just going to bounce a lot. And then it's going to eventually, with enough time, continue the fall because gravity is pulling it down. Most of these assets are like that, where gravity is working in its favor, and it will eventually break through and continue the movement, especially when you see it kind of like, when you see something like this, where it's bouncing, and each bounce is getting smaller and smaller, eventually it breaks, you know? I know you guys know that because it's common sense. If you've been in the market for any amount of time, it's common sense. All right, let's invert the scale yet again. True, Derek. Damn it, what did Derek say? Derek, you forgot to mention, if we do get a DeSci rally, we are coming for him because we got to throw that yacht party. Absolutely. We absolutely are getting the yacht party. There's no question about it. Did I miss the yacht party? No, you did not, Spec Truth. Not yet. We'll 100% be planning it. It's going to be a great time. I found out yachts are actually not as expensive as I initially thought they were, so it's going to be a good time. I didn't buy this suntan lotion from Dawn for nothing. Yo, pause. You should not be purchasing things from Dawn. I'm getting a lot of messages right now. Yeah, nothing worth it. Some crazy fund manager stuff going on right now in the TradFi market. You guys, last thing before we go, I know I should honestly just leave it on that because it was really exciting, but you guys see Warren Buffett scoop like 5 million shares of this beast, UNH? God damn. The Warren Buffett effect, he literally pumped at like 15%. Spoiler alert, Dawn doesn't use sunscreen. All right, guys. I appreciate all of you guys being here with me. Like I said, I will be in Costa Rica all week next week, and so I will likely not be going live. All right? I hate to be that person. I'm flying out tomorrow. It's going to be a great time. Yoga retreat with Amanda. Speaking of time, did you guys know it's your most valuable asset? Hopefully it was worth investing it into this live stream with me. I appreciate all you guys being here with me, and I will see you all in the next live stream. Peace. Yo.